Moin und hallo zum Filmfest Bremen. Mein Name ist Susanne.
Und ich bin Yugen und wir sind vom Indiefilmtalk Podcast und begrüßen heute bei unserem Filmgespräch die Macher und Macherinnen hinter dem Film This Film Should Not Exist. Und das sind zum einen Massimo Scocca und Gisela Albertini. Deswegen reden wir gleich mit denen. Hey, can you hear us? Yeah.
Hey there.
Nice. Nice to hear you. Thank you for your movie and thank you for the documentary. It was very nice to see. And my first question would be, because you were so close in the documentary with the characters, how is your relationship with them? How did you find the band? And what is the relationship with Country Cheeses?
Okay, so thank you, of course, for having us. And so the story starts pretty long ago, because in 1995 we went around Europe and in particular in Germany especially, following the band, the tour of this band. They were actually both Country Teasers and Oblivions that are both in the film. And with a borrowed camera, really home camera from a friend, and an old van, and just because we liked this kind of bands at the time, and we had no experience with filming or anything. We didn't have a plan. We just decided we thought it would be fun to follow them, and we knew that their tour dates, and so we jumped in with this van with this old Ford from the 70s, and so we could sleep in, and we just followed them for a few days. And of course, in that situation, we just not only got to meet them, but kind of live almost together for a few days. So without this kind of tours that weren't exactly like the Rolling Stones with a super big team behind it. Like, they were stuck in the van and tired, frustrated, and so that's how we met. And although we didn't really kept in touch all the time through the years, it was easy, even though after so many years, to just now, thanks to the internet, to find their contacts and then get back in touch. They were really happy to see us and to hear this project.
And I mean, there are many team members. They was all directly into it, or they was like maybe thinking about that. Yeah, maybe it could be not so good idea to make a documentary about them.
The people of the bands, you mean?
Yeah. The people in the band, they was open directly and was like opened their arms and said, "Let's do it." It was like, we are not sure if it's a good idea.
No, in fact,
mixed reaction.
Yeah. We were willing to have them all, but apart from one person, but we don't participate. But I was able to find another one, and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't feel like being there." I don't know, maybe it's just shy. I don't know. Just show sometimes.
I'm the Prime Minister now.
Okay, yeah.
and I don't want my political career distracted.
No, that's shocking. And then another one, we weren't able to find him. We know that he totally changed his lifestyle, and in fact, so he has a different job, and he really doesn't want to be involved in this. So these were the ones, and while the American band was all willing to participate, and actually we had been in touch with them throughout the years, and then we added the new ones were, because among the several turns, unexpected turns that this story went, also because some people were not willing to participate, so we had to decide different. We found this Welsh band that was added later, and they were just happy to participate, even though we had never met them before.
And one of them, one of member of the country user was is dead. So we contact the family. Because,
okay.
drug addict. So we asked to the family if it was okay for them to show.
So it's quite a long time ago that you shot the first material, and then later on you get back together and you get the band in the documentary again. And how does it work with a script? Like, how do you work it out? You have the material, and there's some point you wait a little while, and then maybe you have to change your script and give it a new chance. How does the process work? How often do you change the script?
How we started.
I just started. I'm sorry because my English is not so good. So
Don't worry.
I let Gisela.
It's good.
When Gisela said that we followed this band, before this band, there's a label named Crypt Records. That was an American label, but back then it was based in Germany. It was in Halle. And they organized a lot of tour of the bands, American bands mostly, in Europe. And I was in contact with the boss of this label, it's called Tim Warren, that is in the
documentary.
And so it all started because I was really a fan of this label. And this label has like most independent label, like a vision of musical qualities. And the first idea of this documentary was to make, to have an idea of what this musical scene was back then, of label like Crypt in the Red Record, Sympathy for the Record Industry, label that made this material. But the first handicap for us that it was very heterogeneous, and it was very difficult to make a script that connect all this band together.
Did it change in the process, or did you stick on it till the end, or did it like changed?
No, in fact, that was the original project to basically this scene from the 90s, underground garage scene that's really wide. And then one was that reason. The second reason was money, that making such a big project would involve going to the USA. It would cost a lot, and everybody, we did a little trailer to present the project, and a lot of people from the scene, oh, that's great, we're so happy, but nobody offered money for it because it's a very small scene and not so much. And so that these two together said maybe we should go for a smaller story, and starting from hopefully in the future we will do other episodes of our other films. That was really not clear, and let's focus on one story. And for some reason felt that this was a strong story because it was the first time we actually ever filmed the band that tour. So, and also accidentally the first person we interviewed when we started the project was Ben Wallers, just by coincidences. And so we had that, and then also there was a personal story that we thought was worth telling, rather than end up with a documentary with thousands of bands and then they only speak for 1 second each, and they will say, oh, it was great, we had a lot of fun, and then you see, so this will have the chance to go a bit deeper in a way that we would find interesting to see such a documentary, and that's pretty much what was leading us. And
This film.
And yeah, there was watching.
Sometimes so hard. I'm so sorry because it's sometimes so hard because of the time.
I had a point that I thought that the last change was that we thought it would be with only counter teasers and oblivions, and then we thought we were lacking a band or people, a voice that was not so directly involved, and that's how we also brought in, after we had already finished and we had already started editing, with a French director that helped us with this, joined us later, and at that point we also added these bands from Wales, and yeah, and that so many changes, definitely.
And a long journey, of course, a really long journey that you went through. And I'm thinking about the title. This film should not exist. It's quite provocative. So, what's the story behind that title?
Okay. One reason is that the third man in the project is Nicolas Braun, who hasn't been mentioned, but he is just as important in the realization of this film. And he's in France, and we kind of accidentally got him to meet him because we had a lot of footage, but it was just random. We had never made any film really. And although we started with other people trying to cooperate, but didn't work. And so we started in 2016 with the first idea, and then several things went wrong, and all the rest. And then it seemed that we would not be able to. Then people came in, came out, and so should not exist. One reason is just that there is such a long series of coincidences that brought these people together. We met by accident by then in 1995. We had a camera by accident. We met again almost by accident. I mean, because we were supposed to interview other people while we ended up interviewing Ben.
And I met Nicolas while I was touring with my band, Lane, and I was in his town. And I met him, went to sleep at his house, and I saw the poster of one of his movies. So I asked him, "Oh, you are a director?" "Oh yeah, I'm a director. I made some movies, and I like the music that you like." So it was the first contact, and it was by accident.
And Nicolas was the one who said, "I don't really want a title that's just the counter teasers, the story of the counter teasers." He really was looking for something a little more that would not be so obvious, and came to this idea, and also the fact, and this kind of fits also to the fact that the band has been often criticized, and especially these days, when politically correct is a thing, but sometimes it loses when it goes beyond a certain point. In art, there is a debate that we would like to start. So when is legitimate to stop? When does censorship start? What is art? What is satire? Is it not? And that's controversial sometimes, the things they say, but sometimes people lose the focus that it's not that they think that they're just trying to put attention of people to issues that are real in a way that people are become aware, and somehow have to think about it, and also with humor, satire is a way to convey in a message without clashing too much, without violence in a way. It could be an idea behind it. Then it could be somebody may agree, somebody not, but that's the idea. And then, so that's why some people might not agree and say, "Oh, this film shows things or that I don't want to hear, but I don't want to see.
Would you say
Another thing,
Sorry.
another thing is they were a bunch of alcoholic addict kids, and so they made a lot of
behavior that's not really a modern behavior. Maybe, sorry.
It was 25 years ago.
And sorry, Italians speak a lot. We always
No, it's good. It's good. It's good.
That's good. We're just listening really, really close to you. Yeah. How is it about kill your darling scene? Are there some scenes or some takes that you didn't put in the film because maybe you thought, the world is not ready for this yet?
Well, with because the whole final process of editing ended up being on the internet because we were stuck in the lockdown in Italy, and Nicola was doing the work in LC. We were supposed to meet at some point, but didn't do. So he was sending out links. Okay, I tried. What about this and what about this? And so we just did finished up, and he did the editing. I was just saying what we. If I agree and we didn't agree. And sometimes there were scenes that he would add a little bit more because there was when we were recording them, and especially country teasers were wild, young boys, just
males.
When they started, usually, maybe in the beginning, you were a bit of, because I was there probably, but it didn't take long before they started speaking freely and with alcohol, talking. They were Scottish and they can drink, rivers of whiskey and beers. And so they started speaking freely and so there are more jokes that gets even, they get, you get the idea of where we're going, and there would be more of that further with jokes.
Well, we didn't make any censorship scenes. So.
Well, there was actually more and more of that.
Yeah, there's more,
and then another thing we took a bit of little bit cut because one of the Welsh bands does this Dave, who also went on and on. When he got started, it went really a bit off, and then there was some things that would be hard to explain. Well, I can say it now. At some point, he even mentioned Hitler, but not in a way. Of course, he's not a Nazi, not at all. But just mentioning it would require to have a whole lot of things behind it to explain and that's the difficulty sometimes to when censorship or when something is appropriate and when can be understood or not, because otherwise it risks to have a totally different message go through. And people don't have instruments to read because I'm there with the person and I know the circumstances, I know the person, and can weigh the words. While when you just get a snip in a film, sometimes you can get totally. Of course, everybody knows how much you can manipulate information, and so in good and bad, the risk was that. Yeah.
Now, you started developing. You said 2016. Now it's 2021. The team members saw now. Maybe they saw the movie already. What did they say now? Where they see the finished result of your the work?
The band. Yeah.
The band, yeah.
They were all satisfied and
yes,
they're really
okay.
happy.
They're happy.
Yeah. And also the family.
Yeah.
And there were people in who were later in the band who were not happy because in the baby because also they ended up being cut and we're sorry. And actually the only one who hasn't seen it is Dave from the Dutch Bloggy because he doesn't have internet, he doesn't have a DVD. He lives a very old style type of life, hardly have a phone. and so we still haven't managed to get him to see that. But everybody else was happy, and we were very happy because we weren't sure.
Yeah.
And we wanted them to see themselves, to tell a story that they would find real and well told. So we're happy that they reacted well. So even the ones that we got in touch with, who didn't want to be in the film because they didn't like to appear, but he was very happy of that. So
Nice. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for the insights in the production of the documentary. And it's a difficult time now, so we can't see you here live, but we would be happy, of course, to meet you as soon as possible and have you in the cinema here next time.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for having us, film, and inviting us here for the chat. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot
Bye-bye.
to you. Bye.
Thanks.